All right, guys. Welcome to episode 2 of the OJust podcast with your host, Joshua Martin. To the left of me today, I have an amazing human being. You want to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name's Morgan Bryson, since we're doing last names here, I guess.
I guess so.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So, I saw Morgan at the gym a couple of days ago because she comes to yoga too. And I hadn't seen her in some time. And I was like, yo, what you been up to? And so then I invited her to come on and just chat a little bit. She loves food as well. So we're going to talk a bunch about food today. You want to tell me a little bit? So you own a food truck.
I do.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So can we just start with a little bit about your background?
Yeah, absolutely.
And let me know.
We had talked about food before. So
yeah.
We knew the love of food was mutual.
Yes.
But yeah, then yesterday or 2 days ago or whenever it was, I guess, I mentioned I own a food truck and you didn't know that. So it's Toss Food Truck.
Okay.
We specialize in healthier foods, salads and wraps mainly. And I had the dream for the business, I don't know, 5+ years ago. I had always kind of been an entrepreneur mindset and loved cooking, but I thought there is nowhere to get a good, clean meal that's healthy but tastes good. And so I wanted to change that. And I started working with healthier foods at home and just getting more into a healthier lifestyle in general, hence the yoga and the gym and all the stuff. But I guess it was 2021. I bought myself for my birthday a little 2-horse trailer and started the conversion on the food truck or for the food truck. And I cleaned it out, replaced some wood, got some spray done, a new paint job, and pushed all my equipment in and had a food truck. Opened in November of that year, and have been running it since.
So I missed when did you said you got the truck?
June,
and then you opened in November.
Yeah.
So what was that process like for you?
It was so fun. I loved it. For a while there, I thought I should just go into business building food trucks because it's fun and creative, and I think that's what I love about cooking in general. But there were a few different aspects of like getting the food truck started, like not only the concept, the menu, the pricing and all that stuff that I was working on, but the build out of the food truck. And then what I think took ultimately the longest was the licensing behind it. So getting licensed, like getting an LLC name from the state, getting a sales tax license, getting Colorado Springs City business license. I am based in Monument, so getting that business license, finding a commissary kitchen, all these little details. But it finally came together.
It's kind of a lot.
That's just the tip of it too. I mean, owning a business is kind of a lot in general. There's still a lot to do all the time, and I think that's why I love it, because I find it hard to like sit still a lot. But yeah, I'm grateful for it because I love sharing my food with people. It's one of my biggest joys in life, and to be able to do that and it be healthy food too, it just feels really good. And when people find me and they're about the healthy food too, they get so stoked and it makes it all worth it. So it's been a fun process. I mean, this is like my 3rd winter now, and winter as a food truck, like you learn a lot about how to stay afloat and what all you can do to keep bringing in money and putting out your food. And it's not necessarily all food truck. I had to kind of turn the wheels a little bit and started doing my first winter I started doing meal prep. So that was kind of my first outreach outside of the food truck. And now this winter I've been doing a ton of catering, which has been so fun. And certain like outside events, I serve at all the home CC hockey games, actually. That's a fun little outlet for the winter. And I'm just building that and pushing that as much as I can. Oh, another thing that I love doing, and I'm hoping this will go through into the summer, at least when I have time, beer dinners, like 4-course beer and wine dinners that I do. And I'd love to tell you more about that, like later on or now or whenever, but those are so fun.
Okay. Yeah, we can definitely get into some of that. So what I wanted to ask you was, when it comes to catering, is it still the same food as the food trucks, or do you have to change it up a little bit when it comes to the catering side of things?
That's a good question. I can cook anything. So I usually kind of start with that with clients. Like, although our business is called Toss and it's veggies and fruit and we serve salads and wraps, that's kind of like our namesake. I can do whatever. So I've done like big events with charcuterie boards, fruit trays, veggie trays. That one had a champagne fountain at it. I've done like bridal shower brunches and other smaller get-togethers with like quiches, breakfast foods, homemade biscuits and gravy, homemade juices, and so much more, everything in between. I mean, the beer and wine dinners is really where the creativity gets to shine, because it's always a completely new menu every month. And it's so fun to kind of build that concept up.
So do you do those dinners once a month, or how often do you do those?
It has fluctuated. I started doing them even before I had the food truck.
Okay.
At various restaurants that I worked at. Some with friends and family, just like at our house. But I've been working with Pikes Peak Brewing up in Monument for a while now on these beer dinners, and it seems like we are able to do once a month there. It's kind of taken off for us. So I'd love to involve a wine dinner once a month somewhere. I'm actively looking for a venue where that might be able to happen, but right now once a month seems like a good fit. So just trying to understand, like, when you do these beer dinners, do you do it at a restaurant or like a in-home style? These beer dinners with Pikes Peak Brewing, I do it at their tap room up in Monument. They have a couple private rooms in the back, so I use one of those and do all my prep there and then serve the customers in their back event room.
Okay. And is it for like companies or like families, or how does that work?
It's an individual ticketed event. So a lot of times couples will come. Last time there was a group of 8. A lot of them were my friends, just like all single people just sitting together in the middle, like having fun. On New Year's, there was like a 7-person family, but we usually open it up to about 24 people. So kind of whoever gets the tickets can come.
Oh, so like they have to win tickets, or?
No, it's for purchase before the dinner.
Okay. And you had this idea before the food truck. So how did you get this idea?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I had worked in restaurants like pretty much my whole life. I mean, I got a job when I was like 14 before they even should have hired me, but I just really wanted a job, and it was in a restaurant. And I fell in and out of love. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. With the industry. But ultimately, I knew it was what I wanted to do. And there was this spot in Monument called the Ice Cave Cider House. Do you drink?
Mm-mm.
No. The cider house, he'd make alcoholic cider, but it wouldn't be sweet like Angry Orchard and like the mainstream stuff. It was like dry, like champagne, like super crisp. So good. I miss it so much.
Did they shut it down?
They did, yeah. I became friends with them though, and I was kind of a regular there, and they wanted to expand. They opened up a all Colorado wine bar and a wood fire pizza shop connected to the cider house. And they hired me on to kind of build that menu out. Because they just trusted me and liked me, and we had fun together. So I built that whole menu and, curated all the wine. We could only do Colorado wine. It was part of the license that they had, but it was kind of fun. You know, it was a really niche kind of a bar, and we had a pretty good following, and we were always trying to come up with ways to do events and bring people in. And I think that that's where like the wine dinner theme started kind of intriguing me more. I was also going to culinary school at the time and going for my level 1 sommelier, which is...
Go ahead.
You know what that is?
No, I'm going to ask about that though.
It's like a certification to say you know a lot about wine. And like, I know some about wine. Level 1 isn't too hard, but there's like Netflix movies about like level 4s and stuff and how so extremely difficult it is. And people have fun. Like, tasting wine can be very nerdy and fun, and I loved it. And then pairing it with food, you know, being food one of my favorite things, just adding to that experience with world-class wine is so much fun. But so anyway, I think that's where the idea came from when I was working there, kind of just combining all the passions, trying to make some money, and it kind of took off. And I would do some there, do some at my house. And then I kind of wanted to get more professional about it. So I started finding like other restaurants that I could partner with. And Pikes Peak Brewing, who I have a pretty long relationship with. I used to work there for about 6 years, but they jumped right on board. So it's been a few years that I've been working with them specifically, but I love it. It's such a good, creative, fun outlet, and I'll have to share some of the pictures and menus with you. I mean, this last one, I'll just tell you about the menu. It was a gazpacho flight. So you know what gazpacho is? It's a cold soup. So a lot of times it's like tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, like very fresh and delicious, like great for spring and summer. And this was a spring equinox dinner that we did on the first day of spring.
Okay.
So kind of themed. It was a traditional gazpacho, an asparagus gazpacho, and a strawberry gazpacho. Each of those had a garnish to go with it. So the strawberry gazpacho had a dried kiwi chip. The traditional gazpacho had a homemade sourdough cracker with a goat cheese spread. And then the asparagus gazpacho had a homemade potato chip with it. And the second course was local trout. I love to source local when I can. So I drove out and met my trout farmer buddy, and he owns Frontier Trout Ranch. Got some local trout, cut those up into fillets, and served those on a bed of roasted root vegetables and a spring pea sauce. And then the third course was a smoked Cornish game hen with some sous vide buttered carrots, a beet puree, and an arugula salad with a preserved lemon vinaigrette, and then a lemon lavender cheesecake for dinner.
Jeez.
It was
good.
It was so good. I didn't even tell you about the beers, but the beers just kicked it up a notch.
Okay.
So I have so much fun with those.
That sounds like a lot of fun, man.
The next one's on Earth Day.
When is that?
Monday, April 22nd.
I wanted to ask you, what's a gazpacho?
Gazpacho is a cold soup.
Okay. Oh, okay. So that because I was like I couldn't remember what that word was for the soup. Okay, so that's gazpacho.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my gosh, that's kind of got me hungry now.
I don't know. I'm hungry too.
So how do you come up with the menu? Like, what does the creative process look like for making a menu?
A couple of nights ago, I had a dream about these fancy pancakes, and now I'm like totally inspired. So that's just one example. It can come from all different angles. Like, if I just sit down and think about it, I was trying to do a spring dinner, so I used Google and kind of Googled like spring foods, foods that are local, which is hard here in the springtime and the winter. Like, what can you find local in Colorado? One of my favorite dinners I did last year was a wine dinner, and we did all Colorado, like down to the oil, and some of the seasonings I used were all Colorado products. And the perfect time to do that is like September, October. here in the States. So, you know, I already can't wait to do that again. And sometimes that involves like calling farmers. And then I usually just write a list of like ingredients that I want to or can work with. Side note, actually, Valentine's Day, I did an aphrodisiac dinner. So everything, you know, supposed to make you feel all Aphrodite. I don't know.
So what are some of the foods then? Let's get into it.
Okay.
What are some of the foods for aphrodisiac?
So chocolate for sure. I love chocolate. Everyone loves chocolate. Oysters are an aphrodisiac food. I didn't put oysters though, because some people don't like them. Okay. But I did local filet from one of my favorite places, Prosper Meats up in Denver.
What kind of filet?
Like filet mignon.
Okay. I didn't know if like fish filet or...
Sorry, yeah, no, filet mignon.
Okay.
Colorado beef.
Okay.
Rubbed with this coffee rub that had some chili in it too. And so coffee and chili are both supposed to be like aphrodisiac.
Yeah.
And then I served that with a few scallops. Gosh, it's been a while. I can't remember it all. Arugula is an aphrodisiac. That was in the salad. Watermelon. Certain nuts that I used were aphrodisiacs. I don't know. There was a lot.
Is pineapple an aphrodisiac?
I don't think so.
Only because for me, I just love pineapple. I'll eat a pineapple.
Corny? Is that what you?
No. No.
Are you?
No, I just genuinely, because it's so sweet, you know.
Yeah.
It's just such a refreshing fruit. That's why I was asking, because watermelon is an aphrodisiac, but not pineapples.
It's interesting. I don't know. I mean, I'm just thinking of what I used in my dinner. It's possible that it is.
Okay.
Google that.
That's pretty interesting, you know.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
So, you know, for that dinner, I just like looked it up, aphrodisiac food, and wrote down all the things.
Okay.
And then I'd kind of sit with that list for a few days and like, ooh, this and this and this would go well together. This and this and that need to go together, and kind of work with different recipes in my head. And, you know, I usually start with the main protein. So I knew it was going to be steak, and just kind of built my menu off of that. And sometimes it comes really easily and sometimes it takes more thought, but I like it.
And you said you went to culinary school.
I did, yeah.
So where did you go to culinary school? Because I want to go to culinary school.
It's fun.
Yeah, so you gotta give me some game here. Like, I'm really interested in hearing this.
Pikes Peak Community College.
Okay.
Pikes Peak State College.
Yeah.
But it was great. The teachers there are awesome. They know a lot and they're happy to share their knowledge with you. And we made some really awesome, delicious things. I learned a lot.
Okay, so let me ask you, because like when I decided I wanted to go to culinary school, my thought process was, I know a decent amount about food, but maybe not as much as, not maybe, I don't know as much as I want to know. You know, like I want to have a library of knowledge when it comes to food, because where my cooking inspiration came from, like when I was really starting to get interested in cooking, was the show Chopped. Right? Because I love Chopped. Well, I just loved here's a basket of food, make some fire, make it happen. And that's kind of, and so for a long time I hated cooking books because I loved Chopped, and I was like, Chopped, they just give you stuff and you make it happen, you know? And I loved the idea of that show and the creativity that forces people to put something together. And so, you know, so far I've just kind of been doing a lot of stuff just off the top of my head. And I was like, you know, I just want to get educated on foods and just like really understanding food, instead of just, there's only so much information that you know in your head until you need someone else to add to it, you know? Because right now I feel like I'm just, you know, I mean, I feel like cooking, you're never going to be a complete book, but you could be a bigger book.
Yeah. I learn every day from just doing it, honestly. Like, I did learn a lot in culinary school, but I think what you learn just actually doing it is so invaluable. But culinary school is a lot of fun, and they will teach you more about like baking is where I struggled with because it's such a science, you know?
And that's where I used to. It's not that I didn't have anything against baking because I like to bake a few things, but I think baking just I think it's a little more tedious baking foods, and so I don't know if a while back I had the patience for it. Of yes, Josh, you can't just add extra seasoning in there to this. You have to follow a bit. You have to be a bit more precise when it comes to baking. And I think that kind of turned me off from baking. But now I genuinely am like, okay, that needs to be a skill that I add to my repertoire. You know, I want to be able to go from, you know, cooking something nice off of a cast iron to then baking a nice dessert to go with the dinner. And so that's funny because one of my coworkers is going to Pikes Peak and she wants to open a bakery. And when she's making like focaccia bread for the burgers or something, she knows a lot about how to get a nice focaccia bun because she's in culinary school, you know. And so that's one of the reasons that I wanted to go to culinary school is because I was like, you know, it's not gonna hurt to know more, you know. And even if I worked in it, because I'm considering just like working at a Thai restaurant because I love Asian food. I use chopsticks for everything. I love Asian food and I love how spicy they make their food, but I'm not very good at making Asian food. And so I was like, that's one of the reasons, that's a reason for me to go like seek out a Thai restaurant or like an Asian restaurant so I can just learn how to make more Asian foods, right? And then that would be another way of learning more about cooking that style of cuisine. And so for you, what would you say were some of your biggest takeaways from going to culinary school?
Well, I think the first semester I was there, I took this class, Wines and Spirits. Wednesday afternoon, we're drinking wine at school. Ridiculously fun. And it really pushed me into my love for wine, which really dove me deeper into my love for food. And I think just generally like seeing the professionals, like the teachers around me doing what they love and being successful with it, like just all of it pushed me right where I needed to be. I think I learned a lot in baking for sure. Learned a lot of technique that I probably wouldn't have learned in the real world because it's more like classical training, which some places want you to do and some places don't. I mean, with Tossed, we're making salads a lot, salads and wraps. And some of these salads have 15 plus ingredients in them. So I want to make sure everything's chopped up really nice and bite-sized. So that way when you use your chopsticks or a fork, you're getting 5 plus different ingredients in there and you're getting all the flavors. And that's kind of like a concept I learned in culinary school because there's all these different precise chops that are very classical. And I kind of made it my own twist. Like I have a specific way I like every single vegetable cut because the shapes work and sizing, but I'm not like taking a ruler to your butternut squash and making sure you're a centimeter by a centimeter. So it was all really valuable. I mean, you actually made me think earlier, one of my core memories, like outside of class events down at the school, I think they do this every year. They bring in like a couple chefs from the industry and you're volunteering. So there's not like a ton of people there. I think there were maybe like 16 to 20 of us students, and they split us into teams and we each had like a chef mentor, and they gave us a basket and they said, make something. It was so fun.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying now? Like that's when, if you're not fazed by I don't want to call it pressure. If you're not fazed by the moment, there's no pressure, because then it's just about, oh, I'm about to put this together. You know what I mean? You're not thinking, oh my gosh, I need to come up with something. You're going, this is what I got, so this is what I'm making it work with, you know? So, did you see what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's just so much fun when you have moments like that. It's like when late night, you just open your fridge. You know what I mean? Those are some of the most creative moments when you go, I'm not just going to make a simple meal just because it's the easiest route to go. I'm just, you know what? I've got time. It's 2 a.m. and I've got time. You know what I mean? I'm going to put something nice together. So come 3 o'clock, I'm chilling and eating. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the best.
To be able to kind of put those things together is not something that I learned in school. It's something that I learned over time doing it. Like,
okay.
I would say the last year of beer dinners that I've been doing, I've been really able to, and I'm going to get better at this too. I'm not trying to say I'm like amazing or perfect at this point, but I've just gotten that much better at being like, okay, this flavor and this flavor are going to go together. And people are kind of like, are you sure? And I'm like, yes. Like, just wait.
So let me ask you. So what are some of your favorite flavors or things you like to pair together? I'm a citrus guy. I love oranges, limes, fruity flavors. I love fruity flavors. Like I'll squeeze a lemon on top of steak, oranges on top of steak, and scallops.
Yeah.
I love those sweet flavors on top of food. And for me, also like incorporating a lot of fruit in with meat, because it's just so
It is.
you know.
Yes. I love the aspect of color in food. So that definitely helps me make up my mind, because I like the more colors, the better. But as far as flavors go, I don't know. I love nuts, like adding the texture and the flavor. I also really love Asian food too. So like anything with Asian food, peanut sauce is one of my favorite things. And
what's the roll with
the spring roll
with the shrimp in there?
Oh. Or with tofu, or with beef, or with just veggies, as long as you got that peanut sauce.
Yeah, don't forget the sauce.
One of my best sellers on the food truck is our Thai peanut salad and wrap. So we make our peanut sauce from scratch, and it's all fresh veggies in that one. It's vegan as it comes, but you know, I'm not vegan and I eat it all the time. It's so, so good, fresh, especially during the summer. And we cater to vegans, vegetarians, but we also serve chicken, smoked salmon, and sometimes other options on the food truck as well. And then the beer dinners and catering, yeah, like I said, it's a whole nother story. We'll do anything. So you mentioned your first semester was wine and spirits. So how many different, then I'm assuming there's different categories when you're in school. And also, would you get into some of the categories, and then how long does culinary school take? Well, that was just one class, wines and spirits.
Okay.
They do offer 4 different degrees within the culinary program there. Culinary, baking, sustainability management, and food service management. And so you're getting like there's a broad spectrum of business classes relating to the food world. Basic cooking, basic baking. Then you get more into advanced versions of those. They have like classes where you're cooking like all ethnic food or whatever. They just kind of try to touch base on everything. There's some classes about sustainability. If you go for one of the degrees, they're all associate's degrees. So if you went for one of them, it's like a 2-year program. If you went for, I have 2 of them, and I have like 6 more classes left to get the other 2, but no time. So I've kind of opted out of that. But I don't know, you could probably get all 4 of them done from scratch within like 3 or 4 years.
Okay. That's what I was going to ask. So you can basically like work on 2 at a time and then focus on those 2.
And a lot of them are like crossover too.
Okay.
Like the basic cooking class, I don't even know what it's called. Like you need that one for all 4 degrees.
Kind of like to build that foundation to get into everything else.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And their kitchen there is phenomenal. It's so big and beautiful, and there's so many different spaces, and it's one of the first times I was actually able to work with a lot of this like commercial equipment.
Okay.
A lot of the restaurants I had worked at before that, which was probably like 10 different restaurants at least, just didn't have that industrial size everything, and also really well taken care of too. It's like a beautiful, pristine kitchen. So super fortunate for my time there, and I definitely want to go back sometime and just be like, hey, I'm running a food truck.
Yeah.
I remember you.
No,
Remember me?
that's awesome. And then you were you were talking about like not having much time. So how do you balance, working, finding time for, hobbies, friends?
Balance is kind of my word this year. I'm really trying to get better at it, because last year I actually had a permanent spot inside of a food hall downtown Colorado Springs, and I operated that was open 6 days a week. And so I worked a lot last year. Plus I had like a full-time food truck schedule. So I was managing employees to run the other place. It was a lot and fun, educational. It was overall fine. Good for the business, promotion and whatnot. But glad to be out of there, so that way this year I can kind of have more of a balance of everything and not feel pulled too thin on anything either. But I think it's just taking care of myself and, listening to what the body needs, not pushing it too hard, but also like finding the time to be with the friends, be with the family, cook myself food that's not being sold, and it takes work, but we make it work.
So so I'd like you to educate me a little bit on this from your experience. On like when you're going, and you're like super busy, what do some of your days look like? Because you manage employees, what does a busy schedule look like for you?
Well, let's not talk about like the managing the employees too much, because that was last year.
Okay.
We can focus on this year, and I have plenty of busy days coming up, and I think that's a really good question. So if I serve at Meadowgrass Music Festival, which is a folk music festival out in Black Forest, pretty close to my house. I love it. I used to just go there for years and years, and now I have the food truck there. This will be the 3rd year. So my that weekend will be Thursday. I'll go there, get the food truck set up, get all my food in there after I've prepped, like probably Monday through Wednesday, cutting everything, prepping everything. Those are probably 8-hour days. Thursday, maybe I'll cut it a little bit shorter. It'll be like setting up, probably about 6-hour day, setting up, getting the food there, getting camp set up, all that stuff. Then Friday, I will probably start packing up whatever I need at about 9 a.m. Drive out to the festival, get there by 10. We open at 11, so that gives me time to make sure my sink's full and running, get my sanitizer buckets, get all my equipment out and organized, take the lids off of all the things on my line, put the menus out. I'll probably set up a shade tent that day, maybe put a picnic table out. Open at 11. I will be open until like 8, so 9 hours of service. And if I can find enough helpers that weekend, I'll try to take an hour or 2 off in the middle of the day to go enjoy the music or go walk around or eat food or whatever I need to do. And 8 p.m. we'll close down, and I'll probably need more stuff for the next day because I can only fit so much stuff in the food truck. So I'll go to my commissary kitchen and probably have to do a couple hours of prep and then go home get to bed by midnight, wake up by 7:30 or 8, and do it all again. Start work at 9 and get out there.
My eyes just got heavy here and all of that, man.
But
come on, man.
Here's what I've learned. So that's an event weekend. I have like in the months of May and June, I have like 3 weekends in a row where it's like 3 full days of service in a row, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But what's brilliant is that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I don't have anything. So I can then sleep in, hang out with my dog. I'm still going to have to prep for the next weekend, but I've learned that I can push it hard and get shit done. Sorry, but get it done and then have my rest time. So in June, I'm also going on a 3-week road trip by myself or maybe with a few friends. We haven't quite solved it yet, but for my 30th birthday. So I'll bust my butt in May and beginning of June, and then I'll be out for 3 weeks doing whatever I want and relaxing.
Okay.
So that's the balance.
Have you decided a destination?
Yeah, a few places. So I'm gonna go. So I'm gonna leave. Me and my friend Amanda are gonna go to this hot springs in Colorado and stay the night there. Then we're gonna go to Zion National Park, stay 2 nights there, and then go to Vegas.
Glenwood? Is it
It is Glenwood.
hot springs?
Actually, there's this one called the Hippie Dippy, and it's like 2 pools off the side of a road that's free.
Okay.
And I just want to go try that. Like, we're gonna do it cheap. I want to do it as cheap as possible. So, Glenwood, I don't need to pay.
Yeah.
I'll just go.
That's good.
And I go to the hot springs like once a month. That's one of my like routines to kind of keep balance in my life as well. So I get to explore those a little bit here and there. But so then we'll go to Zion for 2 nights, then Vegas, and she's gonna stay 1 night in Vegas with me. And after that, I might be by myself the rest of the time. I might have a friend or someone. We'll see. It's all gonna work out the way it needs to. But I'm gonna see my favorite band play at the Sphere in Vegas for 3 nights, Dead and Company. And then after that, I'm going to drive to California, where my sister and her kids live, spend a few days there. We're going to go down to Mexico and spend my birthday there and do some wine drinking and eat seafood and so much good food.
Does your sister stay in Southern California?
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
part?
she's in Huntington Beach area.
Where's that?
It's like just south of LA,
Okay.
a little bit. So not too far from where we're going to go in Mexico. Should be an easy trip, but
Are you driving or flying?
driving. And then we'll come back up to her house, and I'm going to hit a road trip up to Carmel, California, up to San Francisco, down through Death Valley, and back to Vegas for more Dead and Company shows.
Oh my goodness! So you're gonna watch them all 3 times at the Sphere?
Mm-hmm. I'll probably see him a total of 6 times.
Come on, chill, man.
I know.
That's doing the most. That's just doing the most right there.
I like to do. And I don't know.
You work the most. You deserve to do the most. All right, that's fair.
Balance.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Dang. I was still thinking about your work schedule. Now, it's like short bursts of intensity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that I guess that, and you kind of need some of those days where you're going for a little bit and then, relax. So that's pretty cool. So when you're doing like all your chopping, do you have industrial machines that will help assist with that, or is it all by hand? Because I feel like if you're doing everything by hand, that's a lot of work.
It is a lot by hand. I mean, I have a food processor. I put 2 things through the food processor. Everything else, pretty much by hand. I mean, I've found the most efficient ways to do it, and it's not too bad. I mean, I have given myself calluses, that's for sure, but I'm also getting those playing the guitar and working out. So
You play the guitar?
I do, yeah.
And I'm just finding this out.
I guess, I mean, you just found out I owned a food truck.
Yeah, that's true. Fair enough. So, how long you been playing guitar?
On and off for a few years. I'm really getting into it this year. I'm making it a goal, learning guitar.
Shout out to John Mayer. You need to.
Oh my God, Dead and Company. He's in Dead and Company.
I didn't know that. I just listened to his solo albums.
Dead and Company is like the guys, most of the guys who are still living from the Grateful Dead.
Oh,
Like Grateful Dead music.
okay.
With John Mayer as the front man.
I'm just okay. That is pretty cool. So I watched this. I freaking love this video. It's BB King and John Mayer just going back and forth. And John Mayer is really good at the guitar, right? But then you watch BB King play the guitar next to John, and you can tell because John Mayer is renowned as one of the best guitarists. And then BB King, when they say mastery, you can see that with BB King, just they're having a conversation with the guitar, with the music, because they're going back and forth. And BB King is so smooth. You know what I mean? Just killing it. I watched this video over and over and over, and every time I watch it, I go, John Mayer is so good, but there's levels to this too. And everybody has pretty much let it be known that John Mayer is that guy too. But at the same time, I'm your OG, basically. You know what I mean?
I know, but it's like,
literally, I watched the video and I'm like, damn, like, BB King's just, because, John's kind of trying to impress BB King, and showing him all the skills. It's like when you look, you have a mentor and you're trying to show him all the things that you've learned, and BB King's just on the guitar, just easy money, and I was like, damn, man, that's how you know that there's levels to everything.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like you could be the most talented person, and you're still gonna have things that you learn from someone who's just been doing it longer than you've been alive.
It's true.
And making hard stuff just sound so easy, just coming off of them.
They do. I mean, even John Mayer makes it look so easy, and
yeah,
it's not that easy. Although with practice, a little daily practice, you get better and better every day.
Yeah, I watched this. So he performed "Ain't No Sunshine." It's on YouTube. You gotta watch this video.
John Mayer?
Yeah, killer, man.
Killer.
This man just gets on there and he spazzes on the guitar, and it's a big crowd, all focused on John Mayer, and he's going in on the guitar. I don't swing like that, but hey, I objectively, he's a good looking dude.
He's a good looking man.
Yeah, he's a good looking dude.
The truth.
I just love music. Oh, I gotta tell you. So I watched this video because he was talking about, like, he used to be like an egomaniac, right? And he used to drink a lot. And he was talking about, like, one time he got like super effed up the night before. And like he's looking out the window in the car, backseat of the car or something. And he's just talking to himself. He's like, okay, so how much of our potential do we want to fill out throughout our life? You're like, whatever answer you say is okay. But how much of your potential do you want to fulfill and live out? Because he used to, get messed up all the time, big ego,
Not living up to his potential.
Exactly. And he was like, I want 100%, I want to feel 100% of my potential. And he just talked about, that's when he decided he's going to clean it up, get himself together and, focus on what he does best, which is make really freaking good music. Love on the Weekend. Come on, man. That tune comes on. Where's the sun, man? You know what I mean? You know what song I'm talking about?
Sure.
I'm not about to sing John Mayer on video and embarrass myself, but it's a really good song. You know, love on the weekend, love on the weekend.
Maybe if I
like only we can.
I don't
like
know a lot of
weekend.
solo stuff, honestly.
Yeah, that's mostly what I listen to. Is like it's mostly his solo. You know, now that you tell me about the, what's it called again?
Dead and Co.
Dead and Co. I think I have, because I watch a lot of YouTube music videos. I just love watching music videos on YouTube. I think I maybe did know. Did they perform at Boulder one time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
A lot.
Okay.
But they just did their final tour this last year.
Okay, so then
I'm doing a residency.
Yeah. Okay. That, you know, they get paid doing those residencies in Vegas. They get paid.
Well, these tickets at the Sphere aren't cheap either, but I'm sure the Sphere's taking a cut. But I'm sure they're also getting paid. They're all like world class.
I was gonna say it's booked out probably every single night.
You can find tickets. A lot of them are like third-party sellers.
Don't tell me 500 is.
Well, actually, the tickets have been fluctuating, but last time I checked, you could get a seat, which isn't a great seat, but for like $150.
Okay.
And
I want to see Adele.
if you want GA floor, it's probably like at least 600.
Yeah.
I didn't get any GA floor, but
yeah,
miracles do happen.
Just keep looking. Just keep looking. I want to see Adele.
Adele.
I love Adele.
I like Adele too.
Yeah. That woman.
Do you play
sing? No. So, you know what's crazy? Is I used to play the drums when I was in Ghana, in Africa.
In Ghana?
Yeah. And that's where I'm from. I'm adopted from there. So I used to play the drums when I was in Ghana. And then when I came here, I learned to play the piano a little bit. I took piano lessons as a kid. And so, and my one of my cousins played the guitar for a little bit from time to time. I don't know if he still plays or not. And so musically, I love music, man. I love music so much, you know. And all kinds of music, you know, like Japanese music. Yeah, that's me. Catch me just strolling with some Japanese music on, just on my skateboard or
what
something.
What kind of music do you not like?
Slipknot.
Oh my God.
Miss me with that. Miss me with that.
Yeah,
Miss me with that.
Okay.
Because I don't understand what they're talking about. I don't understand the words they're saying.
I haven't listened to much, so I
Dude,
can't really...
don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. It's
heard that.
like, I don't even want to try and like simulate what they sound like, but it's screamo music. You can understand what they're saying usually, right? Sometimes. Well, picture screamo. I don't even know if Slipknot is screamo music. I'm sorry if you like Slipknot. I'm not judging. I'm just saying that's not my cup of tea because it's
not for you.
Yes, and I don't want to call it like bad music. It's just not my cup of tea.
Right.
You know, I love indie music, man. I love music. That's my style, straight up.
Heck yeah.
I just love like indie music, you know, like Coldplay is my favorite band.
Nice.
And then, so I like Coldplay a lot. Country music was my first love when I came to America. Like, I used to get annoyed if anything other than country music was on the radio. And so Kenny Chesney, in my opinion, may be the best concert performer of all time in country music. I think he just puts on an amazing show. And he has hits, like hits on hits on hits. And then I wanted to see Old Dominion last summer, but by the time I was like going to buy tickets, I was like, it's just too much of a hassle to try and buy tickets now and then go see them. And so, yeah, I want to, have you heard of Parcels? Or
sounds familiar.
One of their songs, Tied Up Right Now, or Games of Luck. I don't know what country they're from. They may be German. Do you know Abbey Road Studios?
Like the Beatles?
No, I think it's an actual studio.
No.
They did an entire album in there where they basically played like 15 songs in a row. And it was incredible. YouTube suggestions, and it just came on. And now I love that band. They are so good. They're coming to Red Rocks. I'm still trying to decide if I want to go. Talked about this yoga monastery, so that's why I'm like, if once I get interviewed, if they say yes, I don't think I'm gonna go to the concert because I want to just save money, just literally shift all my focus to this monastery. And so, yeah, I'm kind of just waiting to hear back. But yeah, so indie music is what a lot of what I listen to right now. I go through like phases, you know, and I think with just like the changing of the season coming into summer, listening to a lot more lighthearted music.
Makes sense.
Yeah. What about you?
I like a lot. I don't love like country on the radio. I like old school country. I can get around some Kenny Chesney. I love like bluegrass, but some of the new stuff I don't love. I don't love like super heavy metal or super heavy rap either. Besides that, I do listen to a lot of folk music. Love songs are by far my favorite kind of music. Like, even if it's a heartbreak and love.
I'm with that. That's my bag, man.
Yeah.
You better put some respect on it, you know? I love songs and also love movies. Like, romance movies are my number one genre. All my friends will tell you.
That's funny.
I'm not even kidding. I love romance movies like you wouldn't believe. I just like to get all the information out of there. Nah, it's not even a game, though. You know? Like, you know, the thing is, so my thing with romance movies is most of the dang situations in romance movies have been lived out. You know? Whoever's directing the movie, you know, they're channeling it from somewhere. You know? And that's why I love romance movies. And I'm a romantic, you know, but I think that's what food just helps with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really am a romantic. And so I just love, like, even with my friends and like friendships, like I love just being like, yo, I'm going to make us all some food. Let's just get around the table and eat together, you know? It's just like, you can be, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can be romantic even in like friendships.
Yeah.
You know? And I think I just like the soft stuff, man, the soft life, you know?
I don't like a lot of romantic movies. I mean,
So what kind of movies?
I don't really watch a lot of TV, honestly. But
Okay.
I do like scary movies
Get out of here.
and murder shows.
No, that's not me. I can't, no, I can't stand that.
It's so bad for my psyche, I know, but I don't know.
Literally, when I tell you, like, Criminal Minds forever scarred me as a kid, can't stand, like, Criminal Minds anymore. Because it used to make me feel so uneasy when that show would be on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's why.
Shit.
It is. It really is. And I watch anime, right? And, like, I'll watch anime more than, like, live action TV shows. And because even when, like, there are, like, dark themes and, like, moments in anime, like, it's a lot easier for me to register with that versus Criminal Minds, you know. Have you Stephen King's It? Sitting through that entire movie was freaking agony. Because I was just so uncomfortable with and the anticipation of, like, the scary moment waiting to happen. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
My brother has like a $300 It costume, so it looks like so real, so it's scary. It's so scary.
Oh my gosh, why would somebody spend that much money on it?
He's really into it. He has a Halloween party every year, and they like build a maze. You have to get in through the haunted maze to get into the party, and it's
okay.
Cool. He's kind of living the frat life a little bit still, but
Is he younger than you?
he is. Yeah, he's a year and a half younger than me, but he's also a business owner. So is my mom.
So does everyone in your family like owns a business or something?
Us three. My half sister also owns a business. Actually, she's a hairdresser.
Okay.
But yeah, my mom's an insurance agent, and my brother owns Linex of Colorado Springs. They do like truck bed liners and vehicle accessories and stuff.
So let's say if I were to get a truck and like I wanted to like build like a camping situation on the back of the truck. They do all of that.
Yeah, he does all of it.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah. Or like, let's say you get like a van, strip the inside out and build something in the, you know what I'm saying?
I want to do that. I keep telling him, I'm like, the business should buy a van and then we should build it out together.
Yeah, that's a business venture right there.
We could promote it and you might get some clients.
No, for real.
Sell it, like we do all the work and sell it for a ton of money. You know, people spend a lot of money on those things.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because it's like, especially people who like to be on the move a lot, it's worth it for them.
Yeah.
You know, like I've seen those like Mercedes vans where they'll spec the whole thing out, you know, suspensions and everything.
Yeah.
So that would be cool because I was like I wanted to. So before I found this place that I'm hoping will, you know, I can get accepted to volunteer, I was like looking at going on a trip to Hawaii. Some of my friends in Utah, like Utah has a lot of like Samoans and Tongans and people who come from Hawaii there. And I was just talking to one of my friends and he was like, yo, you could rent a van and just travel the island, just drive the island for like a week and see everything on the island if you wanted to. So I looked at that and I was like, well, let me look into some volunteering situations, you know, and see, because when this place, you know, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that they accept me, because volunteering there, I'd be there for like 2.5 years, because I'd want to spend a full year like being one of their vegan chefs and learning how to make vegan food, you know, and then they also have, you know, they have their own farm. So all the food is grown from their farm.
That's awesome.
That's what I'm saying. And so I would learn about how to grow food, you know, and then, you know, basically I'd spend 6 months at each position except for the vegan stuff, like the vegan chef, where I'd want to be fully immersed in that, because that's a whole different set of skills, right? I feel, or at least in my opinion, learning how to make food that doesn't involve any, you know, any meat or anything like that, where you're trying to make the best, most nutritional meal you can without any, you know, because eggs are considered non-vegan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So honey's also considered non-vegan.
Depending on the vegan, it seems like more of them are steering away from that, but by definition, yeah, honey is not vegan.
Do you know a lot about vegan food?
I serve a lot of vegan.
Okay, so can you talk to me about that? Because what exactly does it mean to be vegan?
Anything that's an animal product. So milk, eggs, meat, cheese, ice cream, unless it's dairy-free.
So how do they make dairy-free ice cream?
It'd be like cashew milk or almond milk. Coconut milk is probably the most commonly used one. They'd use it like a dairy-free milk and just make that into ice cream. And there's some good versions out there. This isn't vegan, but I had a goat milk ice cream the other day. It was really good. Not vegan though, but really good.
Okay.
But yeah, and then no honey is also an animal product. And
come on, man.
I know.
So what are we supposed to do? Not eat any bees like honey?
So a lot of vegans, actually, like all the more recent vegans that I've started serving, they all eat honey. So it varies. Some of them eat eggs too. So they're kind of their own offshoot of vegan, I guess. But
yeah, because I mean, that would be really hard to be vegan for the rest of your life.
I honestly have found like a lot of vegans that I've known over the years, like end up eating a lot of processed foods, because if you're cooking from scratch every night vegan food, like that takes work, especially to make it taste good, right? But so eating processed foods is easier. I mean, we all kind of live in that conundrum, right? Eating processed foods for any of us is way easier than cooking your own stuff. But I think the biggest thing for vegans is like making sure you're getting your complete protein.
And that's what I was worried about is how, that's why I was saying like a nutritional meal without any meat. How do you get, how do you get your proper amount of protein on a regular, consistent basis without any chicken? Even if you ate one chicken leg, like every, once a week or something, just to like, you know what I mean?
In the grand scheme of things, though, that's not very much protein either. So
Right.
they can eat beans and rice is a complete protein. I actually learned this in culinary school. If you combine certain things, that's when you get a complete protein. So beans and rice together, complete protein. Peanut butter and jelly sandwich on wheat bread, complete protein. I think it's combining like a certain carb with a certain protein makes it complete. And that's what your body needs. And there's a few other things of those too. And I mean, they make all sorts of, again, they're processed though, but like meat substitutes that are higher in protein, cheese substitutes that have good protein to them. But I think most people who are doing it the healthiest way are eating a lot of beans and rice, a lot of nuts, and other like fresh, real protein sources, not processed.
So
I'd imagine this place that you reached out to, though, is probably not using processed.
no, literally everything is growing right, like on the farm, and that's why I'm so, I want it so bad,
If you apply.
Last month, I believe, or 6 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago. And then I have my interview in like 9 days, I believe, 10 days. So
Good luck.
thank you. I need some because, they don't know how passionate I am about, because it's yoga, meditation. It's a retreat center too. So, you'd be working with people all the time. And that's one of the things that I'm like working on is just, learning to connect with more people, because for a long time, like, I mean, I'm pretty social. I can be social when I want to be, sometimes I just want my headphones on and don't talk to me, but I love yoga, and I can do my yoga teacher training there. And that's why I want to do it so badly is, my plan was to stay in Colorado until I got my yoga teacher training done. But then when I found this place, I was like, go to Hawaii, and this place isn't by the big city. It's on the big island, and it's not a doing glamorous lifestyle. And, you're really focused on spirituality, meditating, and yoga, and also, you eat 3 vegan meals a day, and so with where I'm at in my life right now, I just think this opportunity to being in front of me now is, it's like, oh my gosh, I don't think I would have ever had this opportunity had I not, worked on myself, to put myself in a position for this opportunity to be presented to me,
Well, I think everything in life happens the way it's supposed to, and there's not like bad thing, what you went through and came out of was exactly what had to happen to get you to where you are right now.
For me to be sitting on this couch, it had to happen. Like, I truly believe that, and like sometimes I get lost in deep thinking and just, what is the meaning of life? And just, I go on down these rabbit holes of like deep thoughts and thinking. And then I just have to like, just go, you know what, man, Just cool it off. Cool off on all these things that you think about all the freaking time, you know? Yes,
Yeah.
I get it, Josh. Like, you think a lot about these things, you know? But just sometimes you just got to enjoy just the simplicity of life, you know? And, you know, for me, I got to a point where I was like, what is the point of living? You know, not to get too deep, but we're already here.
Real.
You know what I'm saying? We're already here because there are times, like, even for you, you know, I'll ask you in a second, but, you know, for a while I was just, you know, trying to just make money, right? And like, I like gifting, you know, that's something I genuinely love to do, is just giving stuff. Right. And I think that was one of the reasons I wanted to have like money, was just so I can just do stuff for people. Right. But at the same time, I was like, so what am I living for though? Yes, I want to make money, but what am I living for? You know, and I wasn't really able to answer that question until I was moving to a different house over here. And this is not supposed to be morbid, but I'm like cleaning, I'm packing my stuff, I'm sweeping the floor, and just like thinking about death, you know, because you move on from each phase of life, you know, each phase at certain point ends, and then you have to move on from it. And I'm moving on from this house, and if I just felt like I'd done so much movement, you know, in my life so far. And I'm sweeping, and for some reason I just had this moment of accepting moving on as a part of life. You know, I'm moving on from this house. It was great while it lasted, and I moved on. I'm going into this new house. You know, it has an island. You know, it's a nice. That's why I wanted to move into that house. I was like, it's got an island, and I'm cooking all the time. I need the island. You know, and you know, that's what I said. It's sweet. Come on, man.
Heck yeah.
So I move into this new spot, and it just was like, okay, this is a new beginning, you know. And I was just like, for some reason, I was just thinking about like death and like just moving on, you know. And it's like, it comes for everybody, you know. You don't know what's gonna happen once you're gone. You know, you can't try and think too much about that. You know, because you'll cross that road when you get there, and they may be nothing. You just, you know, your body goes back to the earth, and your soul could go, you know, wherever, you know, like people believe in reincarnation and all of that. But, you know, we can get into that later. But I was just like, the point of life is to experience it. That's the point of life, is to just experience it. It's to, you know what I mean? It's an experience, and you have to feel all of it, or life will make you feel all of it.
Yeah.
You know, that's just what it is. And once you accept that, at least for me, once I accepted that, okay, you know, this is the experience. Is to feel as many things as you can. It's an open world. You get to experience you get to choose some of your experiences. Some of your experiences are going to happen to you, you know, and just, you know, some parts of it aren't enjoyable. You know, I'm not going to say, like, some parts of it aren't enjoyable, but you just need to accept that it's a part of the experience.
Yeah.
You know, and once that happened, that's when I was like, I'm basically going to turn myself into a movie character. I swear. I tried not to tell anybody that for a while, but I was like, I'm just going to try and make my life a giant movie character. You know, in some different dimension, somebody's watching me making vlogs, and they're watching my vlogs and watching me making vlogs and watching me doing cooking and podcasting and doing yoga. You know, and, you know, I want to build a business as well, you know, and I want to build multiple types of businesses, you know, but they're all centered through me, right? I'm like the tree trunk, and then sprouting out of me is all these different things and ideas. And, I've always just been one of those people that's just like ideas, and just trying to be creative, Like, I can remember the first time that I really was like, ooh, I'm gonna try and actively create something, was ripped jeans. Because, like, I wanted some ripped jeans, but I didn't want to buy them already ripped. And I had some jeans already. And so I went on YouTube and just looked up a video on how to make ripped jeans. I still have them till this day. And
Did you rip the holes?
just the knees, and I think like right above the thigh area. And I just learned to make ripped jeans in my room. And that was just so fulfilling, because I was like, I just did this. Like, I don't know anybody else who's just out here just making ripped jeans themselves. Like, when you could just go buy some at the store, And I don't even fit in them. I guess I could fit in them. I still fit in them, but I don't wear them very much, But
Jeans are so overrated.
I think I just like being in these pants, these types of sweatpants a lot.
Club?
Yeah, man, I do. And, from time to time, it's like, all right, let's mix it up, throw some jeans on just to mix it up, because I have this thing about, like, you get to create yourself, right? At some point, you start, like, when your parents stop dressing you, and now you're actively picking your outfits, and you get to dress yourself. You get to present yourself, not I'm presenting, someone's not presenting you. You get to step out and show the world who you are, And so, yeah, that's kind of like some of the stuff. I'll just get lost in it, But it helps me, though. It really does, because I'm working on temperament control, temperament control and responses to things that don't necessarily have too much to do with me, in the way of, if you're in a bad mood, and then you're having a day, and then you just get annoyed and say something at me. I control my response, right? Just because, like, you may be, going through a day right now, and then you say something to me, doesn't mean that I now lash out or, like, have to say something back at you, And so that's one of the things that I've genuinely been working on a lot, and, like, every day, every single day, and I've been getting back into meditating, which has been freaking great, because you don't just meditate by accident. That's not something you just do, And I watched this video where his name is Sadhguru.
Sad?
Yeah, Sadhguru.
Okay.
And he was talking about meditation is not just when you're sitting still. Meditating is a state. You're in a meditative state.
Where you can focus on one thing and hone into it.
Yes, and going for a walk. But, in your mind, whether that's focusing on literally the internal dialogue on how to handle yourself, how to brainstorm while you're walking, keeping a steady, calm mind. A quiet mind isn't just when there's silence. A quiet mind is keeping focus, being steady, even in times of turmoil,
Yeah. Yeah, my buddy was just telling me how when he used to play basketball a lot, that was like meditation for him, because he was on a competitive team and he could just hone in and focus on that exact moment. And that was his meditation. I thought that was cool. I had never thought of combining it with sports like that, but makes sense.
And the meditative thing was maybe 2 days ago, and it's one of the most powerful things I've ever heard. Because it's so true. You know, when you meet people who they're just, so my freshman year, I was in Minnesota, and this gentleman, his name was Ty. We were on the football team together. When I tell you, it's like an old soul, man, in an 18-year-old's body. You know, like I genuinely like looked up to this guy because I said, he is so mature. I'm talking, you would have thought he's had like 4 kids and he's like 65 or something, with the way he handled himself, the way he spoke to you, you know. And he's, you know, we're still young, you know, we're still like, we're having fun, you know, but just in his day-to-day life, this man exude meditative energy all the time, you know. And I remember saying, damn, like, I respect you, bro. Like, man to man, I respect the way you operate, the way you carry yourself, you know.
Do you still know him?
Yeah. We text from time to time. Like, I just loved that he had this presence about himself that's, you know, everybody on the team respected the heck out of him, you know. And, you know, in any group, you have a group, and then you have a group within a group, right? And I was lucky we were like roommates, you know, and so we spent quite a bit of time around each other. And, you know, I just always appreciated just the way he spoke to people, was with so much respect. Every time he spoke to you, there was respect. He never raised his voice at people, you know. And we're with young, boisterous boys, you know, and he was just level water all the time, you know.
Probably needed that around with how everyone else was probably off the charts on everything.
Yeah. And we had a good like group of people in our dorm room, so it was pretty chill. Like, we were all like, we still all communicate, you know, which is awesome.
Good.
Yeah.
I want to bring out these salads. And
oh, yes, show them. Yes, grab your salads. Let's show them. So Morgan brought some salads, and she just a second. So she texted me. She's like, "Hey, can I bring you a salad, and will you eat it?" I was like, "So I'm doing Ramadan right now, so you can't eat or drink from sun up till sundown, and there's an app that tells you no water either. Yeah, no water. So if you're gonna eat, you got to eat before 5:36, and then you can't eat or drink. 5:36 in the morning is when you need to have your last bite, and then you can't eat until 7:19. There's an app that tells you." And so she brought some amazing looking salads. Would you like to tell them what's in it?
yes, so I told you about the Thai peanut salad earlier. This is one of our other best sellers. It's the superfood salad. So the base is spinach, kale, and arugula.
Okay.
And then it has roasted beets, butternut squash, quinoa, white onion, goat cheese, and pistachios. And then this one I added chicken to.
Thank you.
Spiced maple vinegar.
Did you make the dressing yourself? Oh my gosh! Thank you so much. Oh my goodness! So should I mix all the pistachios in there?
If I were you, I would
separately?
get a bigger bowl.
Yes, I got a bowl.
All in there.
Yeah.
And toss it.
Okay.
That'll be your best way of eating it all.
Oh my
getting
gosh!
Flavors.
Yo, I'm actually like, my stomach just got a little hot right now.
I'm hungry. Salad in the cooler.
What do you have the same salad?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my
I
God.
did a little catering today for a lady. She is a yoga teacher and does yoga retreats at her house. I don't know how often, but I cater the retreats. So she's just starting to get back into them. Again, she has one coming up in April, and I bring salads or salads and wraps, salads and snacks. We kind of switch up the menu from time to time. but I'm super grateful to be involved with her. And she's having a friend over for lunch tomorrow. So she was like, hey, can you make me some salads? And this is kind of how I do meal prep too, with the salads dressing on the side. So that way, like, you could eat this salad, like, you know, if I made it for you, usually how it works, I make it for my clients on Sunday. They pick up on Monday. They can eat it through the whole week and it'll stay good. And
really,
it makes it easy lunches or dinners or whatever, you know.
Well, thank you for this, because I ate after my is it drums, chicken drums. I made 4 of them yesterday, and I thought I was gonna eat 2. I ended up eating all 4, and then I had because like I don't eat all day, and so I was like, man, 2 drum legs and some rice, and I was still hungry, so I killed the other 2.
Right.
So now I've got a big salad. I'll eat that for dinner tonight. That looks freaking delicious. I'm gonna keep it here because when I finish cleaning tonight, I'm gonna take Katie's class. I don't know. Do you know who Katie is? I think she's relatively new. She just like took over the 7:15 Vinyasa class. So I'm gonna keep that here because I don't go home till class starts at 7:15, ends at 8:15. You know, you don't usually get out of there for maybe another 10 minutes. So I won't be getting home till like maybe 9. So I'm gonna eat that here for my dinner.
I didn't bring a fork. I'm sorry.
Hey, we've got forks over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you want to end it on that, or do you want to keep talking?
What do you think?
I mean, we can keep talking if you got anything you want to talk about.
I have talked about the things, I think, all the businessy things. I mean, I guess that's what we're here, is to talk about Tossed and the food truck. And, you know, I told you how I got there and what we're doing now. And I have a big season coming up this summer, but yeah, I don't know. And if you have any questions, we can...
So, like, in terms of the business, let me ask you, because I want to own a restaurant one day. What's the learning curve for getting all those licenses and, you know, managing all of that? What was the hardest part of, you know, learning the business aspect of running a food operation?
I still learn more and more all the time, but I think like the licensing part, it kind of worked out well because the health department took so long to do their inspection that in that time I could make sure I've covered all my avenues. And there's a lot of resources online that'll kind of help you through that. I think the Colorado State website has resources on what you have to do to be a food truck. And that I've just kind of used all those resources to the best of my ability and figured it out and took my time. I didn't rush. Like a lot of times with small businesses, you'll see people saying, we'll open in April 2023. And now it's April 2024 and they're still not open. So it's like having that patience to work through all the necessary steps to get there. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still learning too on like best way to file taxes and paying sales tax and paying employee wage withholding and all that like little intricate stuff that is just a learning process as you go. So it's fun. It's worth it. Restaurants a hard industry to be in.
That's word on the street, man. That's word on the street. It's hard.
The food truck, you don't have like continuous operations costs. Like I pay my friends in salads to park my food truck there. And that's the only thing that I'm continuously paying for. I guess my license, but that's inexpensive to say the least. But I think, I don't know, when I was in the brick and mortar last year, it's, there's pros and cons to owning a restaurant versus a food truck. So you just kind of have to weigh out and look at the environment too, what city you're in. Colorado Springs isn't necessarily the best mecca for food. Honestly, we kind of lack in food in a lot of ways, but we're growing and we're getting there and we're getting better. So there's potential for it to get.
So, what you were talking about the pros of owning a restaurant versus a food truck. Would you be able to tell me a little bit about the difference or some of the pros in owning a food truck and the cons, and then versus a restaurant and the cons there?
Sure. I mean, the food truck, I don't have to pay rent. I don't have to pay for electricity to keep the lights on. I don't have to have staff to manage it all. Those are all pros. I can also shut it down for 3 weeks and go on a road trip to Vegas and Mexico and California. Serving, last food truck event I had was January 6th, and it was right before one of those big ass storms came in. It was so cold. It was miserable. I made a decent amount of money, but I don't think it was enough to even make it worth it to freeze my behind off like that and to have my employee there with me also freezing. So there's times of year where you have to kind of pause what you're doing and look at different avenues. Also within like my first year of business, I popped like 3 tires on the food truck. Sometimes the generator doesn't work. I ripped off the cord right when I got to an event. I like ran over. I don't even remember.
Like the power cord?
Couldn't plug the food truck in. Luckily, one of the other food trucks that was there like knew electrical and was able and like had a piece that I needed and got me all set up.
Nah, that's lovely.
Yeah.
That's the word lovely.
I still owe him, but I gave him a few salads. So. But I think owning a business in general has those, you're always going to run into issues. It's not like smooth sailing. Like, you know, TV media makes everything in life to be smooth sailing, and it's not like that. It's worth it. It's fun. But there's always going to be a hoop to jump through or something to figure out or a problem to solve. And that's whether you're in a restaurant, in a food truck, or whatever other kind of business you might run. But I don't know. I like the freedom of the food truck. It makes it so nice. Just get to do what I want. I make my schedule. And yeah, I mean, with a restaurant, you're open set hours. You can get more of like set regulars that'll come see you on a more regular. I mean, we have our regulars too. So, but it's kind of like, I don't know. I think you have more of a potential to gain that because you're open year round, 5, 6, 7 days a week, whatever it may be. So I think that's one of the biggest pros I see with a restaurant.
So I want to ask you if you are giving advice from all the experience you've gained so far and will continue to gain, what would be some of your advice for someone who maybe wants to start with a food truck and then expand or wants to get into culinary arts? What would be some of your advice?
Well, getting into culinary arts, if you want to go work for someone else, do it. Just go for it because YOLO, and you're going to learn so much. It doesn't matter where you're working. It doesn't matter if you're working at the vegan burger shop down the road or the Tibetan place right next to your work. You know, that place is fancy and good and expensive, but awesome. You'll learn things and you'll grow. But as far as like getting into business, I think as you're writing your business plan, don't rush it. Take a step back. List out problems that could happen. You know, you might not be able to foresee everything that could happen, but list out the problems so that way you're ready if something not great were to happen. And then also be flexible too. Like, especially with the food truck, I can't run a food truck all year round and make money off of it to livable money off of it in the winter. So be flexible on how you want to how your business is going to kind of evolve, I guess.
And do you have any plans to expand, or do you go to other states do other, is it it's not festivals, right? Do you usually go to festivals?
I've thought about like reaching out to more festivals because, like I said, I do the Meadowgrass Festival and I love it. It's so, so fun. But in order to do events in different counties here in Colorado, you have to get, some of them are cool, or I shouldn't say cool. Some of them are easy to work with, and you can get like a 1-day pass, or as long as you're certified in another Colorado county, you're good. But then other ones will make you like go through an inspection with their health department, or the fire department will have to come inspect you. I've never thought about, well, that's a lie. I did think about doing, maybe I should just move out to Florida in the winter and like run my food truck out there. Because I have family out there. That's where I'm from. But I don't know if I really want to live there for months at a time. I love Colorado, so I haven't put too much thought into that. I don't mind kind of taking a little bit of a slow season too and focusing on other avenues. So, just keep it in Colorado for now. There's plenty of festivals here too. So if I decide to go that avenue like next summer.
You said bluegrass?
It's started as a bluegrass festival, but it's kind of more morphed into like a folk festival.
Does it cost money?
It does, yeah. But it's fairly reasonable. They're actually looking for volunteers. And if you work like 2 or 3 shifts, you get a full 3-day pass with camping. So you should look into it. Meadowgrass.
Meadowgrass, not bluegrass. Okay, Meadowgrass. I'm assuming bands are going to come through?
Yes. They get national acts. I don't know. I'm trying to think of who's like main headliners for this year. I can't think. I know my buddy's band, who's a bluegrass band from Lyons, Colorado, will be playing the Fretliners. I'm really excited to see them. He usually, like, I would say half the acts are usually like local or Colorado, and then he brings in some big names too, and it always changes every single year. It's never the same people. So
do you remember any big bands that have come through?
This was probably, 10 years ago. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Jeff Austin band came through, and he's like an iconic mandolin player in the bluegrass realm. And I got to meet him and his band, and that was really super fun. The people from Elephant Revival have done like a few different things there because they weren't Elephant Revival for a while. I think they are now. The fiddle player played with a group that was phenomenal a couple of years ago. I can't think of the names. They're all like bands I never really heard of, but then it's enjoyable. Like it's always a fun time. I mean, it's out in the middle of a field at a retreat in the middle of the forest, retreat center, and it's so fun. It's very family oriented for a festival. I love it.
Sounds pretty interesting. Maybe I'll look into it.
You should.
Because I like is it the guitar that they use in a lot of folk music? Like I don't know if it's an acoustic guitar, but it's a guitar sound in folk music. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I'm sure it'd be acoustic guitar. I don't know.
Have you heard of Alan Gregory?
Is it called?
Yes. Would he be considered like a little bit of folk music?
Yeah, maybe like indie folk.
Yeah, I love him. He makes fire music. I love his music.
He's gonna be playing here in Colorado Springs, and his show got canceled because of the snow, and they rescheduled it for like August, I think. So
maybe I'll go see him because you've heard a few of his songs, right?
Yeah, I can't think of any right now, but yeah, I've definitely heard his stuff.
What time is it?
3:36.
Okay. Yeah, like I love his style of music because it feels a bit more like I would like you described it, a bit like indie folk music, and so I like his style a lot.
Yeah.
I enjoy that.
I just love music in general.
Me too. Yeah, it makes me so happy. It makes me so happy, and I get a lot of inspiration from music too. You know, like just like watching people put out music after music after music and hoping that it'll relate to somebody, you know, who will then want to go see them live. You know, it's like you know, this artist Dermot Kennedy. You know, I'm going to watch him play at like a small venue in Denver, and then he's playing at Red Rocks, and then he's playing at the Nuggets championship opening night.
Whoa, that's
You see what I'm saying? Like, that's amazing, you know?
that's really cool.
Like, that's freaking cool as heck. And that's what helps me when I'm trying to do all of this, you know, and going, it will eventually hit. You know? I just keep working at it, keep putting in the work, you know. It will work, you know. So I think we'll end it on that. Morgan, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having
It's been an absolute blast. I really appreciate you being so open and willing to share, you know. Thank you for being willing to do this in a 2-day turnaround. That seriously, guys, literally, I saw her 2 days ago at the gym, and now we're here, you know. Thank you so much for helping me. Would you like to, do you have a social media account for your stuff?
Instagram is Tossed Food Truck. You'll see the logo. Facebook is also Tossed Food Truck. Website is www.tossedfoodtruck.com. And you can find everything else through those avenues. So
okay. So all social media handles are Tossed Food Truck?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll make sure to like put it somewhere. Yeah. Make sure they can go check out your food. And do you have like a place that you're usually stationed at with your truck?
I don't really have a lot of usual spots.
Okay.
So slow season right now. My first food truck event is actually it'll be my second one of the year because I did that one on January 6th. But April 11th or whatever that Saturday is will be like my first in the food truck season. So starting then, I'll start gaining more momentum. I'll be at like the Monument concerts in the park. I'll be at this food truck rally in Monument. I'm hoping to be at this food truck rally in downtown Springs on Tuesdays at the Pioneer Museum, but they haven't released their application yet. And yeah, you'll find me at other various spots too. I post my schedule to my social medias, and it's always updated on my website too. So
amazing
info about beer dinners and catering and prep and all that.
Yes, absolutely.
Social. So
well, awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I'm so happy I finally got to do this with you. So
yeah,
thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll end it there. Bam. Thank you guys for watching.
Enjoy your salad.